And what will workouts look like in 2021? From virtual classes to stricter sanitation protocols, experts weigh in on the future of fitness. And we're getting our first look at a self-driving bus that's about to make its debut at the Tokyo Olympics. Those stories and much more just ahead on NBC 5 News at 5.
If their unit does break down in the next 12 months, we'll refund their money.
Refund! Refund! Refund!
That's right. If your unit breaks down within the next 12 months, we'll refund your money.
Bask in the warm glow of winter lights with Cadillac during the season's best sales event and shine your brightest with the fresh new lineup of Cadillac vehicles. So shop now and light up your nights with the luxury of Cadillac.
Texas residents get this low-mileage lease on this 2021 Cadillac XT4 for around $329 per month. Visit your Metroplex Cadillac dealers today.
If their unit does break down in the next 12 months, we'll refund their money.
Refund! Refund! Refund!
That's right. If your unit breaks down within the next 12 months, we'll refund your money.
Ford is the best-selling brand in North Texas. Here are 7 reasons why. The #1 selling Ford F-150 and Super Duty, America's 43-year leaders. The #1 selling Ford Explorer and Expedition, #1 in their class in brand loyalty. The #1 selling Ford Transit and Transit Connect, and everyone's favorite, the #1 selling Ford Mustang. That's 7 reasons why Ford is the best-selling brand in North Texas. Purchase a #1 selling Ford vehicle from your North Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas.
You're watching NBC 5 News at 5.
Right now, 5 more help in the fight against the coronavirus. 6 million doses of the Moderna vaccine now rolling out, joining Pfizer's on the front lines. JPS Health Network tweeting 2 shipments of COVID-19 vaccines arrived today, a second round of the Pfizer vaccine and a first round of Moderna's. 2 more shipments of Moderna are expected this week. By the end of the week, it expects to have offered the vaccine to every JPS team member.
And I want to encourage everyone who has the opportunity to get vaccinated so that we could have a veil of protection over this country that would end this pandemic.
Dr. Fauci, another top health leader, receiving the vaccine today. He turns 80 on Christmas Eve, so he is both a frontline medical worker and in that older age group. Texas Governor Greg Abbott received his vaccine this afternoon in Austin. Abbott said he wanted to get it in public to instill trust in the safety of the vaccine. And since tracking began back in February, coronavirus cases in the United States have topped 18 million. The pandemic's death toll is over 320,000. And here in North Texas, more dire numbers are being reported just today. 2,300 new cases in Dallas County, 30 deaths. In Tarrant County, 1,500 new cases and 16 deaths. COVID-19 hospitalizations are hitting record numbers as well. At last check, our region's hospitalization rate is hovering just below 20%. And as we head into the holidays, county leaders are really urging people to avoid any get-togethers.
So we're just doing what we can, trying to survive as best we can and navigate how to do all of this safely.
Tonight, local business leaders and owners sound off on Congress's $900 billion COVID-19 relief package. It includes nearly $300 billion for first and second PPP loans. And as our Lili Zheng reports, this could buy some struggling businesses a lot more time.
Like so many businesses, the past several months for the usual in Fort Worth have been anything but.
You worry, you have a slower Friday or Saturday and you're like, oh man, is this the end?
It's that kind of constant uncertainty Jason Pollard says they face. The Usual opened as a craft cocktail bar 11 years ago and under new permits now operates as a restaurant, a move they made to stay open.
And we're sitting at about 35% of what our sales were last year. That is devastating to the members of our team that we consider family.
Pollard says they plan to apply for the second round of PPP loans if they can. Emily Williams-Knight with the Texas Restaurant Association says this new upcoming round will give small businesses like restaurants a fighting chance. The association estimates between 10 and 12,000 restaurants in Texas have closed for good.
I
think another nod that happened in this bill is really a recognition of all that restaurants have had to do as far as cleaning supplies, PPE, reconfiguring their restaurant, investing in technology. And now this Paycheck Protection Program, they can also take deductibility on those expenses up to 40%.
Recovery is not going to happen overnight, she says. But at this point, people like Pollard say businesses will take all the help they can.
Sitting at home, alone for 6 months, you kind of start to wonder, like, is there anybody that's gonna be there when we do open back up?
In Fort Worth, Lili Zheng, NBC 5.
And as Lili just mentioned, sadly, the help is too late for many struggling businesses. Today, we learned the entertainment chain Punch Bowl Social has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It had locations in Dallas and in Fort Worth. And according to our partners at the Dallas Morning News, the popular craft beer bar Flying Saucer in Addison is closing its doors on New Year's Eve. It had been in business for 25 years there. Other locations remain in Fort Worth, on Lake Ray Hubbard, and at Cypress Waters. We spoke with Congressman Roger Williams about how the COVID relief bill will impact Texas's 25th district, which covers Tarrant County, and he says he's excited because one of the bills that he co-sponsored, the Save Our Stages measure, will open up music venues now, bringing people back to work.
I mean, this program will work. We saw the first PPP did work. 58,000 jobs in my district alone, 6,000 businesses took advantage of it. So it's going to work, and people are excited about it. I've already talked to a few venue owners, and some of them went to tears. It made me go to tears, actually, that actually you're able to do something for them up here in Washington.
Williams says the program involves $15 billion that the SBA manages. President-elect Joe Biden spoke today on the pandemic, the economy, and the COVID relief bill. And Alice Barr is reporting tonight the president-elect is promising to work with Congress for another larger stimulus package once he takes office in just under a month.
President-elect Joe Biden addressing the nation ahead of the holidays, urging Americans to stay vigilant against COVID-19.
Our darkest days in the battle against COVID are ahead of us, not behind us. So we need to prepare ourselves to steel our spines.
Biden also speaking out on the suspected Russian cyber attacks that infiltrated U.S. government agencies and private businesses.
This assault happened on Donald Trump's watch when he wasn't watching. But rest assured that even if he does not take it seriously, I will.
The president-elect promising more help for the battered U.S. economy, vowing to negotiate another round of stimulus money. Overnight, Congress finally passed a $900 billion COVID relief package that includes more money for unemployment benefits and small businesses and direct payments of $600 for Americans making less than $75,000 a year, plus another $600 for every child. Those payments could start arriving next week. President Trump has been largely silent on the relief bill, the pandemic's growing death toll, and the cyber attacks, instead meeting last night with a few House conservatives to discuss last-ditch attempts to disrupt the process when Congress ratifies election results next month. The president also directing criticism at Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who's asked Senate Republicans not to join in the election challenges that are doomed to fail. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC 5.
The stimulus package also has relief for renters. The federal moratorium on evictions will now be pushed back to January 31st. It was set to expire at the end of this month. And there's another $25 billion in rental assistance. Meanwhile, real estate app Zillow is predicting the housing market will get even hotter in 2021. Demand continues to grow and is expected to surge in cities when the pandemic subsides. Zillow forecasts annual home sales growth will be the highest in nearly 40 years. Well, from hot housing markets to another warm day of winter, let's go right out to NBC 5 Chief Meteorologist Rick Mitchell. Rick, how long is this heat going to stick around?
Oh, it's pretty much is winding down, Meredith. This is the second day in a row we had high temperatures in the 70s, and we have a cold front that's going to come in. Not that it's an Arctic front or anything like that, but it will drop our temperatures from the levels that we have been enjoying. These are current temperatures across the area. Most of those temperatures are in the 60s right now. I see Arlington still coming in at 70 degrees, 67 DFW, Fort Worth and and Dallas both have 68, 66 McKinney, and Rockwall 66. There's not a whole lot showing up on the radar, but if we move a little farther to the north, yep, what do you see? There's our next cold front. That's still pretty far away, but it will arrive tomorrow. And for the folks in the northern plains, man, they've got blizzard warnings up there. We won't see anything extreme, but we will have that cool down. How much of a cool down and how long it will last when I come back. Meredith?
All right. See you then, Rick. Thank you. First at 5, Denton police need your help finding a sexual assault suspect. They released this composite sketch within the last hour, and they say this man forced his way inside a woman's apartment on Charlotte Street back in November and sexually assaulted her. Police believe he matches the description of a serial burglar from last year. It could take weeks to get more answers about yesterday's deadly plane crash in Grand Prairie. 2 people were killed when the small plane went down and burst into flames. This happened shortly after takeoff near Highway 360, about a mile west of the Grand Prairie Municipal Airport. The cause of the crash is under investigation. The NTSB says a preliminary report will be released in 2 weeks. A final report will likely take 1 to 2 years. A big blow for Wal-Mart. The Justice Department is suing the retail giant. The feds accuse Wal-Mart's pharmacies of unlawfully dispensing controlled substances, helping to fuel the country's opioid crisis. Now, this comes nearly 2 months after Wal-Mart filed its own suit, claiming the government was blaming it for the lack of regulatory and enforcement policies to stem the crisis. We'll talk about the resilience of a North Texas teenager.
A toy can sometimes be better than medicine.
He's been holding a holiday toy drive for a local hospital since he was 6. Coming up next, his pandemic plan to make the holidays brighter. And we're getting our first look at a self-driving bus that's about to make its debut at the Tokyo Olympics. We'll be right back.
NBC5 Closed Captioning is sponsored by Luminova Holidays, your safe holiday experience for the family this Christmas. Now open at Globe Life Field.
Thursday, 'tis the season to believe.
I'm your guardian angel.
The holiday classic. It's a Wonderful Life.
You have no idea what's happened to me.
Thursday on NBC.